The other day I was in a bookstore and I saw a book on queer people in history and I was like, oh wow, I like that. I'm gonna pick that up. I picked it up, I didn't like it anymore. I'm gonna show you why. I'm sorry. Sappho, the lesbian I can't even say it. The lesbian Lin-Manuel Miranda. First of all, if you don't know who Sappho is, back me up on this. This is wrong, right? This is wrong. This isn't right. This is wrong. This shouldn't have been written. Lin, did you sign off on this? Lin, I'm serious. Lin-Manuel Miranda, did you agree to this? If so, comment down below so I can block you. Lesbians, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, lesbian. I'm sorry. Try to have a good day after this.
I just feel like America's not a true democracy when both parties fund genocide and don't care about American people. God, shut the fuck up. Do you want Trump? Is that what you want? You want Trump? No, I don't want either party. This is the most important election of our lives, and if you don't vote for Biden, we are going to lose our democracy. That's the thing. Every election is the most important election of our lives, and how is it actually democracy if they don't represent what the people want? We are going to lose our rights. What do you not understand? You need to vote for Joe Biden. You don't have a choice. I thought a democracy was where I had a choice. This isn't that kind of democracy. Also, what don't you understand about losing your rights? People are still losing their rights under Biden. Name one, reproductive rights. Name another, 500 proposed anti-queer bills and 100 plus passed in the last year alone. Name a third, affirmative action being shot down in certain states. And what do you expect Biden to do about that? It's not like he has the power to stop it. No, like I totally get where you're coming from, except I stopped believing that the second that he bypassed Congress to sell hundreds of millions of dollars worth of weapons to Israel. Okay, well, nobody's gonna vote for a third party in this election. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not disillusioned enough to think that we're gonna get a third-party president in this election. So then what do you suggest? Well, for one, we start on a local level, especially in blue states, and we push for progressives where it's actually a possibility to get them elected in local chairs. We use that momentum to get progressive legislation passed on a local level and then eventually move up to a state level. And once viability has been affirmed on a local and state level for progressives and we show how much impact their progressive legislation has on the common person, people will be more swayed to actually start voting for them on a federal level. Okay, but this is the most important election of our lives. No, I get that, but what happens when the next election is the most important election of our lives? Are we going to continue to build momentum after this 2024 election, or are we just going to go back to being complacent once we get Biden back in presidency? To be honest, after this election, I'm not going to care until 2028. Yeah, I think that's the problem.
You were created to be a wife, a mother, and a homemaker.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. No, I was not. No.
I'm autistic, and one of the biggest problems that I have is focusing on a conversation in a crowded room. And my family and friends just don't understand, so I thought I'd make a video that hopefully demonstrates what it's like for someone who's autistic, like me. But you're gonna need to put on your headphones to get the full effect, okay? I'm gonna try to illustrate how I think a crowded room sounds to a neurotypical person. First, let's populate this restaurant with people and music and cars outside, and then our friend sitting across the table reciting Jane Austen.
She immediately said, "Mr. Darcy, I am a very selfish creature, and for the sake of giving relief to my own feelings, care not how much I may be wounding yours."
So is this what it sounds like for neurotypical people? Did I capture it correctly? All of the conversations and noises are still there, they're just a little softer. I tried to visualize the sound so that the conversation that was important stayed in focus, while the rest of it kind of blurred. We're able to focus on the one conversation in front of us. Okay, now this is how a crowded room sounds to me. I hear the cars on the street, people walking on the sidewalk, the air conditioning, the music playing overhead, and each and every conversation at the same time. Now I want you to try and focus on the conversation in front of you and see if you can follow along.
She immediately said, "Mr. Darcy, I am a very selfish creature, and for the sake of giving relief to my own feelings, care not how much I may be wounding yours. I can no longer help thanking you for your unexampled kindness to my poor sister. Ever since I have known it, I have been most anxious to acknowledge to you how gratefully I feel it. Were it known to the rest of my family, I should not have..."
I did this to illustrate what it's like for me. I don't know, and there's no way that I could, if other autistic folks out there process sound the same way. So my fellow neurospicy friends, please let me know if I got it right for you too. Also, this doesn't factor in oversensitivities to smells and temperatures and even the clothes we're wearing or how uncomfortable the chair is. It's a lot to process, and that in itself is exhausting. So if you have a friend who's autistic and they look like they're struggling to be out and be normal, try to remember, we don't experience the world like you do. We don't filter out sights and sounds and smells the way you can. I hope this helps anyone trying to learn about overstimulation, and please remember, I'm still learning about autism too. I'm just an artist making art in a hobbit hole, trying to find my place in the world.
What do you guys think is going to be like the big silent killer of our generation?
Today, my timeline on Twitter has been filled with multiple people in their 20s mourning a friend, also in their 20s, who just died of COVID.
I'm unlearning white feminism.
I'm going to try and respond to this in the most kind and gentle way possible. First of all, welcome to your learning journey, or the beginning of this learning journey, when you start decentering whiteness and the way that you perceive and practice feminism. I hope that this video gives you a bit more information and tools that will help you carry on. I think it's really important to recognise that you can understand the goals and objectives of a system when you recognise how it measures success. For example, the original poster mentions how white feminism uses women CEOs as a measure of success and how this is inextricably linked to capitalism. I personally think that the problem with white feminism is that it does nothing to dismantle the structures of exploitation itself, but it aims to be a part of those structures. And while this method of inclusion had a certain place at a certain time in history, when you think about like the suffragette movement, I think we've moved past that now. If you're interested in learning more about the relationship between white feminism and white capitalism, I would encourage you to read this short article about white women's investment in the slave trade. I'd also encourage you to take a look at certain laws that were passed. So for example, in 1786, there was a law passed in Louisiana which made enslaved and free black women wear head wraps. And I don't know about you, but I don't think the white men cared about what the black women were doing with their hair. I believe that law was very, very much influenced by white women, because the way that black women were doing their hair was seen as desirable, and there was obviously a lot of like essay happening at the time. So yeah, very interesting when you start looking at history through that lens. If you're beginning your learning journey on how to decenter whiteness in your feminism, I'm going to share a couple of books and recommendations that I hope help. First off is Essays and Speeches by Audre Lorde. Sister Outsider, very accessible. Essays are quite easy to digest, and while I don't believe that we should do things just because they're easy, it's a good place to start. Next is Colonize This, which is also a collection of essays, and it's essentially described as bearing eloquent witness to the splintering effects of colonialism, conflicts between realities, and contradictions and challenges common to these times. I can't do a list like this without including Bell Hooks, the OG. This is called Outlaw Culture, and it's also a collection of essays. Next up is This Bridge Called My Back, which is also a collection of essays by radical women of colour. The collection explores the complex confluence of identities, race, class, gender and sexuality, systemic to women of colour, oppression and liberation. And then last but not least is Hood Feminisms. I haven't read this yet, but it's been on my list and I just got this in the mail like last week. So yeah, excited to get reading and hope this helps you on your learning journey.
This is my interpretation. If parents of neurotypical children acted exactly like autism moms on TikTok did. One thing that they don't tell you about being a parent of somebody with neurotypicalism is that they need to eat different foods every single day. And I don't mean I can just cook the same meal 3 times a day and then I have to switch it out the next day. No, and I can't skip days either. I need to cook a different meal every single day for every single meal. So that means for a whole week, I need to meal prep 21 different meals just for my child. And I was struggling with this forever until I found this amazing resource for parents of neurotypicals like me, and it's called a cookbook. That means I can just open up to any page and just, there's so many different meals that I can cook every single day for 3 times a day for my son. Also, nobody tells you how hard it is to keep neurotypical children entertained. I tried giving him a video essay to watch, and he said, I don't want to learn how Thomas the Tank Engine is related to a greater conspiracy in America for 3 hours. We found out that our son was neurotypical when he started speaking to us in riddles. He was saying things like, what are you doing, when we were just chilling. And we found out that him saying, what are you doing, means, can I join you? We had no idea what was going on, so we took him to a doctor. We thought there was something wrong, and I'm so glad I did, because that's when he was diagnosed with neurotypicalism. I was watching a movie with my son, and not only does he not want to talk about the greater significance in the plot of this background character who was in the show for 2 seconds, he also doesn't want to rewatch it, repeat and repeat until the end of time. I need to go out and buy more movies? No, I'm not making my son's diagnosis my entire personality. It affects my life, and it makes my life harder. You know, it's really hard to see parents with normal neurodivergent children just on this app living their best lives and having fulfilling lives. I could wish the world for my son to be normal, but he is stuck with this neurotypical diagnosis for the rest of his life.
Hey guys, can we, start listening to trans femmes and trans women, please? Because I feel like I'm losing my mind. It's like trans femmes and trans women talk and y'all just go deaf. Like you suddenly are incapable of critical thought. The amount of personal attacks I see thrown at trans women by other queer people over them saying just generic, maybe slightly controversial statements is insane. If you are that desperate to fight with someone online, go fight with a fascist. Go fight with someone who wants to take all of our rights away. Stop bickering with the trans woman you just think is annoying. Don't get me wrong. People are harsh on trans people in general, but within our community, oh my gosh, the way y'all overreact to trans women saying things as compared to other people is insane.